Hi everyone, today Salesforce development day 70. So quickly, what are we going to learn today? Today's agenda is quickly we go through the previous session and we'll talk about the collection data and what are the different type of collection data, and we will see list in collection, what are the methods that are available in the list, and then we will see set in collection, what are the methods are available in set, map in collection, and what are the map methods. And then we will see the differences between the list, set, map. And the conclusion, quiz, homework, interview questions. So yesterday, what did we learn?
Primitive data types.
Primitive data types, date, time,
date
ID,
methods,
string,
add date, add months,
Date
add
time,
years,
as object.
how to create a
SObjects.
subject,
So how to
As
insert,
Standard object,
standard
custom
object and custom object
create a custom object, how to insert a
data.
fields.
data in the custom object using Apex.
Right. So those are the one which we have seen yesterday. Today is our focus is on collection data type. Today class is very important because collection data types are in real time. We mostly use the collection data types. So it is very important today's class. So be focused on it. So collection data type. So collection is used to store multiple data or values of the same data type. Used to store multiple data, but multiple data are also similar to the same data type. Collection is nothing but an array in other language. If you see Java or in any other language, they say it array, but in Salesforce, we say it collection. And collection data type holds more than one data. More than one data. So collection data type is divided into the three: list collection, set collection, map collection. So collection is divided into three: list, set, map. Now, why collection came into the, why they have introduced this collection? Basically, till yesterday, what we were doing it, we were declaring the variable. For example, data type is an integer. Integer variable name is int variable. So equal to 10. So what I was doing it, I'm initializing the each value here. Now, for example, I wanted to initialize multiple values at a time. That means I wanted to initialize 10, 20, 30, 40. I wanted to initialize this all the data at a time. Instead of writing it multiple times, integer int variable 10, integer int variable 1 equal to 20. Instead of writing multiple times, I wanted to declare it in single, where it contains the array of the data. That means which I can store the array of the data in one location. So that's how the collection came into the picture. So collection is divided into three types. So we can store the array in three different ways in the Salesforce: list collection, set collection, map collection. So next we are going to see list in collection. List can hold any type of data and is one of the most important types of the collection, because this is in our development, mostly we use the list set. So list can hold any type of data, and it represents a collection of elements with the duplicate values. That means list can hold the duplicate values. And a list is an ordered collection of primitive data type or SObject or a collection itself. That means list can store primitive data type or collection itself or SObject, or there is a Apex object. We declare an object within the Apex also. By using the Apex object also, we can declare those data types within the list. And features of the list collection Salesforce is, in list collection, the index position starts with a 0. So as soon as I initialize the list, and if I start pushing the data to the list, so the first index, it starts with 0. And in list collection, the data type can be primitive data type or it could be a non-primitive data type. When I say non-primitive, SObject or a collection itself or Apex object, anything which can stored in the list. And duplicates, nulls are allowed in the list collection. So syntax is, so list, then we have to write a data type, list less than, data type greater than, whatever the variable name is their variable name equal to, we are going to use the new keyword because I'm initializing the new list data type and then close open brackets. So how can I remember this syntax? So basically list can be divided. Either you can divide, either you can declare it, either you can declare it like this, or else some developers, how they declare it, they just write the data type here. So here the data type is there. So first one is a list, right? So first one is a list, and within the greater than and less than, where we are declaring the data type. In other way, the few developers, how they declare the list is, first they mention the data type here. First data type and then square brackets, whatever the variable name is there, that variable name. So you can declare the list like this, or you can declare it this way. So both the ways you can declare it. So let's understand the first one. First, we are going to focus on the first one. Now, what are the features you are seeing here? The list collection, basically it starts with 0 and it can hold the duplicate null values, and list can contain the both primitive and non-primitive. So we are going to see those examples. Before that, let's understand the syntax. So list, the data type which I have taken here is a string. Data type which I have taken here is a string. And then variable name is student name equal to new. Whatever we have this side, the list of string. After the new, we have to write list of a string and then this bracket, open and close bracket. Now, how can we divide this? So basically you see here list. This list is a reserved word. That means it is a programming word where the Salesforce has declared it. It's a list. List is a reserved word. You cannot enter any other name instead of list. You cannot enter any other name. You have to use list here. You cannot take a list S or some different value. No, you cannot take it. It's a reserved keyword list. And within this, we have a which is called as a data type. So that means you are opening up the list here. So list less than, greater than, within that we are declaring the data type. So it decides is what data type. So list data type, that means if I have written the string, so string list data type, string list data type, that means this particular, whatever I'm declaring here, list of less than, string greater than, that means it can store multiple string values. And then I'm providing here the variable name. Variable name, you can give any name here. So it's not mandatory that you have to give a only student names here. You can give any names here, like any names that you are thinking, country name, capital name, or just a names, right? Any variable you can use it, but this is the variable name. Here new,
method.
Sorry?
No, ma'am.
So new is the reserve keyword again. So new is nothing but we are initializing the new one. Like yesterday, we have seen account ACC equal to new account. That means we are initializing the account there. Now, whenever we write this logic, list string, list of a string, student name equal to new list of a string, open, close brackets. As soon as I execute this particular line, for example, right now I'm going to execute this entire line. When I execute this line, what will happen? As soon as I execute this line, there is a container will be created in memory. It's an empty container. It doesn't have anything. An empty container will be created in the database.com. Now, once I start adding the values here, that means if I keep on adding the values here, what will does is it is going to store in this container. But how it is going to store in this container? First, it will divide how many values we are adding here. How many names am I adding here? So it will divide the whatever the specific container location is there, some space will be allocated for the student name, right? So that space, it will divide it into the, based on how many names I'm adding here. So as soon as I start adding here, student name equal to Akash. So what will happen? The first thing is that it goes into the 0th index. So it always starts with a 0th index. And what are the next name I'm storing it? I'm storing the Ashrita. So the Ashrita will be in the first index. And then Bhagyashri will be in the second index. And then we have a third index, fourth index, fifth index, sixth index. Now, if you are going to store only two names, then the division is going to happen 2 divisions. So that means, so whenever we run this code, okay, so the first it is going to create a container. First, it is going to create a container. Now, after creating this container, if I add only 2 values, what will happen? It will divide this container. Whatever the container is there, it will divide into 2 pieces. Now here, this is the 0th index. This is the first index. Let's assume that I'm storing the 4 values. If I store 4 values, that means 1, 2, 3, 4 values I'm storing. The same container will be divided into 4 different. That means this is 0th index, first index, second index, third index. So it is going to divide like this. For example, if I add 5 values, the same container, if I add a 5 and 6, I'm adding the 1 to 6 values. So what it will do, the same space, it will divide it into the smaller pieces. So it is going to, based on the how many values you are adding in the container, it will divide that space into the multiple things. But it always starts with the 0th index, and it always, what are the first data we are storing, it stores in the here. And if you wanted to call the data from this, you have to call it as a 0th index. So list always stores the value into the database as a 0th index from the 0th index. So that is what we have seen. One of the feature in the list is list collection. The index position of the first entry is always 0. Right? That is the first feature. Now let's go ahead and see one example. Now, first what I'll do is I'll initialize the list. So the syntax will be list data type. And then I can give any variable name here. Let's take a student. So this is variable name. I'm writing the syntax here. Variable name equal to new list of data type. Right? This is the syntax. This is the syntax. Now, let's take an example. List of, I'm going to store list of the student names, right? What are the names that we have in the class? So I'm going to add those names in the string. So I'll take list of string. I'll take student names equal to new list of string. This is initialization. Now, if I write here system.debug, If I say student names plus std names. Now, if I execute this, what will happen? It says in the output, it says basically nothing is there. So it has a open braces, open parenthesis and close one. But there is no data at all. There is no data at all. So right now we do not have any data. Now how to add values into the list? Now there is a container is created. Now the container is created. This is my container in the database.com. So this is the student. Now the container is created. Now how to store the values into this list container? How to store first value, second value, third value, fourth value into list? Multiple ways we have it. For example, while initializing itself, you wanted to declare the values. That means during the initialization, I wanted to give the values. So how can we write it? So let's take this. If you wanted to declare it during the initialization, only the changes you have to do is remove this and then add curly braces. Add curly braces. Within this curly braces, now we can go ahead and add the values. Akash, and I'm going to add another member here. Ashrita and Bhagya. Okay, next Bharati. So I'm adding the 4 values, 4 names I'm adding here. 4 values I'm adding here. Now both the variable names are same. So I'm going to change this variable name. I'll say that names list. Variable declaration always starts with a small letter. Now execute it. When I execute it, the first container is empty and the second container is also empty. Why? What is the reason?
Variable name.
In the debug, I have not changed the value,
No.
variable name. Now, you can see the list is storing the Akash, Ashrita, Bhagyashri, Bharati, right? So that means this container is divided into the 4. 0, 1, and 2, and then 3. Now here Akash is stored, and next Ashrita it is stored, and then we have a next one is Bhagyashree, and then next Bharati. So it stored the data in this container. This is one way. This is first way is where you can, this is a type 1, where you can, during the initialization only, you can declare the values. You can declare the what are the values are there. For example, I have a data type integer. Yes, you can go ahead and do the integer also. Basically, any type of primitive data type, right? It can accept any primitive data type. If I have here integer, right? If you have a data type integer, you should change here also integer. So if it is an integer, then simply add integer numbers here. This is numbers list. So it is taking the integer. So you can use any primitive data type, decimal, double, right? String, integer, whatever the date time. Date time might not work because I have never used the date time. Mostly we use the string, integer, Very rare scenario, decimal double. So mostly we use the string and integer. Now, there is another way to add a values within the container, within the list container is, the first one is the first method is add list element. So by using the method called add list elements, so what it does, it is basically adds an element to the end of the list. That means there is another way. First, you initialize it. Initialize the list. Then what I can do, I can go ahead and add the values. So how can I add it? Student names dot add. I can give any name here. So let's take Imran. Right. So like this, I can add multiple names. Jyoti. Right, I can add multiple names. Now let's run this, execute the highlighted one. Okay, I have not printed the value. Let's print that. Student name before add method. Student name after add method. Execute the highlighted one. Now, before add method, nothing is there. After add method, we have added the three names, right? We have added the Imran, Jyoti, Mohan. Now, these are the three values we have added. Now, can I add in the second list? There is already values are there. There is already values are available. Can I add it to that? Yes, you can add. You can add. So name list dot add. So I'm going to take next Mallikarjun. So I'm going to add this. Now this is the before add method. And next we have a after add method. Now I can click on execute the highlighted one. Right? So after the add method, Mallikarjun is added. Now, if you observe here, okay, if you observe here, whatever the way that I'm giving the values, it's adding in the same format. It's not, sorting is not done. It's not doing the sorting. The way I add here, for example, if I add a Bharati, Control X, I'm adding the Bharati at the 0th index, and then Akash, and then I'll add the Bhagyashree. So I'm adding in the different manner. Now I'll take this Jyoti before the Imran. Now Imran and Mohan. Now let me execute it. It is taking as I have given, whatever the values that I give, it takes in the same format. It will not do auto sorting. Auto sorting not done in the list. That's the reason we say that list is an ordered. List is an ordered collection of primitive data type. Right? And it can hold the duplicate and null values. For example, let me go ahead and show you that duplicates. When I say duplicates, for example, I'm adding the another value here, name list. In the name list, again, I'll add Akash. So ideally, Akash is already there. And I'm adding the Akash again. So what will happen? Will the list automatically remove the duplicate or it will accept? It is accepting. It is accepting it. It will not remove. It is accepting. That means the second feature is it It holds the duplicate as well as the null values. For example, if I give here while declaration, comma, I'll just give a null value here. So what happens? Control A, execute. Right? It's holding the null value also. If you see here, between the two comma, there is a null value. So it holds the duplicate as well as it holds the null values. And list does not do the auto sorting. Auto sorting is not done by the list. Now we are clear how to declare the list, how to initialize it. There are few developers who does the list declaration in different way. Now what we are doing is, we are doing here list string. For example, let me take another scenario here. List of string, and we have a different status, right? In Salesforce, we have a different status. New list of string. Now I'm declaring this. I'll just say that this is a custom status. C status. Now what I'll do, C status dot add. So for now we have a open. I'm adding the open. In progress. And then closed. Perfect. I have added this, right? So I have added, if I'm going to print these values, it is going to show me the open, in progress, closed. Status. Highlight this, execute it. Open, in progress, closed. It is, which, right? This is the way it is done. Now there is a few developers, instead of declaring it list of strings, C status equal to new list string, instead of doing this, what they do, that does is, they just declare the in a different way string. They will take a data type string here, and then they will give this square brackets, open square bracket and close square bracket is nothing but a list, is nothing but list. Now what they will do is, they will just declare it. So here C status. This means list of string C status, right? Whatever I have written here, string of C status is nothing but list of a string C status. So do not get confused if you have seen some code which is a string square bracket, open square bracket and close square brackets. Do not get confused. That means they have declared the C status as a list of string. They have declared the C status as a list of string. Now, once it is declared, that means it is created the empty. Now, few members, what they will write is string of C status equal to new string of list starts with a 0th index. Okay, if you have written the 0th index, that is perfectly fine. So now if I'm going to add C status open, in progress, and this, what will happen? It will give. Let's go ahead and execute this. Perfect. It is added the open, in progress, closed. But there are sometimes the people will say here, a few developers will say here, start from 4th index. That means 0 to 4th index should be null. And from the after 4th index, start putting the values of open, in progress, closed. So let me show you this. Execute it. Execute the highlighted one. So what happens? 0th index is null, first index is null, second index is null, third index is null. Till the third index, it is saying the null. Why it is saying the null? Because when user is initialized it, during the initialization, developer is saying that starts from fourth index, So that's the reason till fourth index, it is giving all the null values, and it started inserting the values from the fourth index. So if I write string equal to string of, if I write this particular line, string of C status equal to new string 4, what will happen? That means now in the container, what are the container we have? Let's assume C status container. So 0th index, first index, second index, third index, these all are null. And developer is saying it start from fourth index, adding the value here. So this is the fourth, and this is the fifth index, and this is the sixth index. So start adding the data from 4, 5, 6. Why they will do this like this? Because there might be having a developer might have some plan to store some values on the 0th index, first index, second index, third index. So that's the reason they have started storing the values from the fourth index. So if you specify this, what will happen? From where the value should start inserting into the container, from which index it needs to start inserting the data in container. Clear? Any questions?
Ma'am, like so list is basically like an array, right?
Yeah.
We can store the elements.
Yes.
And the thing is, like, if instead of using this add method, like, can we write like a C status of 0 is equals to open C status of 1, like 1 is equals to in progress. Can we add like that instead of using this add method?
Yes. So I'll come to that point.
Okay.
Okay. So now this is the status for me. Open, in progress, closed. Now what I'll do is I'll add another value here. When I add another value, for example, I'm adding the new. Here. When I add a new, what will happen? It will add the value to the end of the list. End of the list it is adding. But for example, I need this value after the open. That means between the open and in progress, I need a new status called new. But if I add it right now, add new, which is adding me to at the end of the list, because that is the default behavior of the list. But for example, if I wanted to add a specific value in specific index, then we have something called add index comma list element. So add is having two parameters. First parameter is the index, the position, and the second one is the element, the name of the value, whatever the value is there. So what will happen if I use it? Insert an element into the list at the specified index position. If I specify the index, for example, now I wanted to add new onto the first index. So what I'll say instead of this, 1 comma new. I'll say 1 comma new. Now let me go ahead and execute this. What happened? It added in the first index. So add is having two ways you can do it. One is just adding the single parameter, which is the element name, or else you can give it 2 parameters if you want to specify the index position, comma the name of the value. So using that, you can add on the specific position. Next one is a size. Size is basically returns the number of elements in the list. Now, in real time, okay, so right now it is easy for me to count how many values are there in list. But in the real time, we will not be adding like this, right? I'll be getting the data from Salesforce database.com, and based on that, it will add the values into the list. Now I wanted to know what is the status, what is the size, how many, what is the length of it, what is the size of it. So what I'll do is I'll just declare it integer list size equal to C status dot size. I'm going to print this. Okay, so let me see the output. So we have a 4. Length is 4. So like this in real time also, sometimes what we have to do is before inserting the data, okay, before doing the DML operation, I need to check whether the list contains any data or not. What is the list size? Is it greater than 0? If it is greater than 0 means I need, there is a values that are stored in the list and I wanted to perform some action based on the list values. So during that time, what we will do is list whatever the name of the variable is there, that name of the variable dot size, is it a greater than 0 or not? So for the condition purpose, we use it in the real time. Now, next one is a remove index. Now, remove, we have a parameter called index. So what will happen if you wanted to remove a specific value from the list? If you wanted to remove the specific value from the list, then you have to mention the index. If you mention the index, it will be removed. So for example, let's say that now I wanted to remove in progress. I wanted to remove in progress. So I have a C status dot. However, if I write directly here, will it accept or not? If I write directly here, will it accept or not? I wanted to remove the second one. Now let's execute this. So directly I can print it. The status is in progress. Now after removing it, let me print the value also. Right? After removing it, I'm printing the value. Click on execute. How many are there? 3 are there because status in progress is removed. Now we have open, new, closed. Only 3 values are there: open, new, closed. And the next one is a sort. We have a sort method because in list does not sort the automatically. So if you mention sort, open and close, that means it does only the ascending order. There is no descending order. Only ascending order you can sort it. So that is the sort method. And next we have a get index. So for example, you wanted to get a specific value from the index. So if you wanted to get the value of here, what are the name is there, Bharati, right? If you wanted to get the value of this, you need to know this value is stored in which index. You need to know this value is stored in which index. So based on the index, we have to pull the data. So for that, we use a get index, which will return the list element stored at the specified index. Now, if I say get debug, then I'll say that, okay, let me add another debug here. So C status dot what I'm going to do is get first index. I wanted to get the first index value. First index value. So first index value is new. So it is printing the new. Is empty. So whether your list is empty or not. If it is a empty, that means there is no value. It will return true. That means there is a return true if the list has a 0 elements. That means there is no value at all inside the container. If there is a values inside the container, it will return is empty, false. Clear. In case if you wanted to remove all the values from the list. So what you can do is whatever the variable name is there, that variable name dot clear. So what will happen? It will remove all the elements from a list. So nothing will be there in the list container. Clone. Clone is basically makes the duplicate copy of the list. So for example, we have a, just a second. Okay. So for example, now let me go ahead and declare another list. So I'll take another list. Now, till now, what we have seen is we have seen the primitive data type inside the list. Now, how to do SObject? How to do SObject inside the list? So for that, what we have to use is instead of a primitive data type, you have to use SObject name. List of account, you can say that ACC list equal to new list of account. New list of account. So this initialization, we are doing it for the account SObject. If it is a standard object, how, if it is a custom object, how we are going to do it? So wherever the account is there, we have to use the custom object name, student
Underscore C.
So this is how we select. It is a student list, right? This is for the standard object declaration. And this is for custom. Now let's assume that yesterday we have discussed like how to insert a single account record. How to insert a single account record?
With new keyword, passing the values.
Account.
What ACC?
ACC dot instance
Account ACC.
is equal
Variable
to
name
new
equals to
New
account
account
opening close bracket
bracket.
Name equal to
Name.
equal to
Let's say
Something,
name
yeah.
equal to account status. And then I'm going to
rating.
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 okay.
Another field.
Equal to 1.
Hot.
And I'll take another field also, billing city equal to, let's say New York. Okay. So right now what I'm doing, account ACC equal to new account, and I have passed certain values to the field. Now this is done.
Insert.
Insert DML.
If I do the insert, what will happen? The record gets created.
Insert account.
And committed
The
into
lightning.
account table.
Yes, it is committed. It will be committed to the account table. That means the record gets created inside the Salesforce. Now let's assume that I do not want to do right now. Here I have just declared the account. Now I need to add these values, whatever these ACC values are there. I wanted to add into the list of account. I want to add into the list of account. For example, I have created here ACC1 account I have created, ACC2 also I have created, and ACC3 also I have created. Multiple single accounts I have created. This is account status 1, this is account status 2. Now I wanted to add all these values into the list. I wanted to add all these values into the list. We have a list declaration done here, ACC list. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'll take this. And what I'll do, ACC list dot add ACC. What I'm doing it here, I have a single record. This is a single record. This single record I'm pushing into the collection. Single record I'm pushing into the collection. Now again, ACC list dot add ACC2. And then ACC3. Now let me go ahead and print the value of account list. So I'm going to execute this logic. So what I have done it, this is exactly how we do it in the real time. So sometimes what happens is we are, instead of inserting each single record, right? For example, there is a requirement. I need to insert 10 records or 20 records by using the Apex code. So that means my DMLs are going to increase. So instead of inserting multiple records here, so what I'll do, I'll first initialize this and then store this into the collection. Store this into the collection. So right now I'm storing into the collection called list collection called ACC list. So let's execute this. Okay, let me comment out this. Execute. Right, account, name. So how it is storing the value? It always stores into the JSON format. Now, for example, if I take this. Okay, so I'm taking this. Now, account is a main heading. Then we have a division here. It started the first record. Name, rating, billing, right? And it is closed. And the next one again it started. So let me give here. Next one it is started, account. And then we have a name, rating, billing, and closing the second one. And after that, again, we have a one more account, which is starting with this is the name, rating, billing account, and it's closing here. And the main one is closing this. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, now we can see this. So this is the open and close, right? And then we have a first account, which is storing this. And this is the second account storing these values. And then we have a third account, which is storing these values. So this is how the list is going to store the value. Now, whatever I have added, the first record came here. The second record came here. Third record came here. So the way I have added, right? The way I have added, the same way it's stored into the list. First ACC status and then status 1 and then status 2. If I say here the third one first, what will happen? The sequence will be changed. So the sequence is how we added. Now I have added the value into the ACC list. I have added the value into the ACC list. Now let's assume that with the same data, I wanted to create another list. Okay, I have another list here. I have another list which is a new account list. Now same data, whatever the ACC list is containing the data, I wanted to create one more list with the same information. I wanted to create one more list with the same information. So ideally what I can do it, I can use this new ACC list dot add, then I can store it ACC, right? This is how I'll be doing it. That means I'll be repeating this code for the new ACC list. I'll be repeating the code for new ACC list because I need exact data, whatever the ACC list is containing. But instead of repeating the data, what we can do is we can clone the existing one. So here, this is containing the data, ACC list dot, so what I can use, clone. Now, if I print this new ACC list, so let me execute this. Right, new ACC list is also containing the same data. So basically, I'm cloning the existing list and creating the new list. Now we have another thing in the list method. We have another one which is called deep clone. Now what is the clone and what is the deep clone? Let's see first the output, then we will talk. So basically, if I do this, this is a very basic. What I'm doing it, I'm cloning the existing one ACC list to new ACC list and new ACC list 1. So click on execute the highlighted. What will happen? The new list, what are the deep clone is there, it also created the similar of what are the clone is there. Then what is the difference between the clone and deep clone? So the difference is whenever we clone it, for example, if I'm changing the value of ACC2, right? I'm changing the value of ACC2. Let me comment this. So I'm changing the ACC2 billing city from New York to San Francisco. Let's assume that. So after cloning it, what I'm doing, I'm changing the ACC2 ACC2 dot, whatever the 0th position is there, that 0th position, because this is the first record, it is storing it. ACC2 0 dot, or I can simply say ACC list instead of ACC2. ACC list of 0th one dot, then I'm going to change the value of billing city. I'm going to change the value of billing city to San Francisco. I'm writing this line after cloning it. Now let me go ahead and execute it. Okay, So the first one is New York and the second one is San Francisco, then San Francisco. Because why deep clone is giving the San Francisco? Now let me tell you, because we are doing the deep clone after changing the value. Now if I put this deep clone after the clone, what I'm doing, first I'm doing the clone, then I'm doing the deep clone, then I'm changing the building city. First I'm doing the clone and the deep clone, then I'm changing the building city. Now let me show you the output. What happened? The deep clone did not take the new value. That means once you do the deep clone, it doesn't change the value, whatever the updates are happening on the original one. So this is a deep clone and this is clone. Here I'm cloning it and then I'm doing the deep clone. This is the clone, then I'm doing the deep clone and then I'm changing the value. When I change the value, if user has changed some value here, so when I change the value, it will be reflected in the clone. Whatever you have cloned it will be reflected in the clone, but it will not reflect in the deep clone. Now let me go ahead and execute. Now here, if you see, the deep clone is still contains the original value. The original value, whatever the original value is there, it doesn't change. It doesn't change. Now question is, how can I know what are the methods are available? If you go to this page, you can see all different methods which are available. The Salesforce has provided it. The Salesforce has provided these methods. So add list, add all, clear, clone, contains, deep clone. Makes a duplicate copy of list of SObject records, including the SObject records themselves. Right? Including the whatever the data is there, everything will be available. So if you go to this page, you can see the list of the methods. What are the methods are there, how to use everything you can see here. Now let's go back to our presentation. Contains. Contains is basically whether a particular value is, a list is containing the value or not. So right now the list has, our list has, so let's take this one. Okay, our list has a new, closed, in progress, open, right? So these all are there. Now I wanted to check whether my list, whatever the list is there, whether it has a in progress or not, whether it has a in progress or not. So what I'll do here, I'll simply, so I'll store it into the, basically the contents will be yes or no. So the output will be the Boolean. So I'll say result equal to C status dot contain. So contains, then I'll give in progress. Then I'm going to print the Boolean value. If it is containing the value, then it will give true, otherwise it will give false. So I'm executing this. So right now it is containing the value. If it doesn't contain, then it will give false. Now add all. Add all is basically from list. Like it will add all of the elements in the specified list to the list that calls the method. Both lists must be the same type. Now we have something called nested list. Nested list. So for what we have seen just this one. We have seen list of string or a SObject name, and then here's string list equal to new list of string. This is what we have seen. Now we have something called nested list. there is a nested list is available. Nested list is basically, if I take, so ideally how the list is, this is a container. This is for example, this is 1 0th index, and then we have a first index, and then we have second index, and then this is the third index, right? This is the 0th index, and this is the first index, and this is second index, and this is third index. So far what we have done is, I have stored a value in this string, 0th index name, like a Akash I have stored here, and Ashrita I have stored here, Bharati I have stored here. So single value I have stored in each index. But what I need is in the 0th index, I need a list of values should be stored. I need list of values should be stored. That means there is a already list is there. This is one list. Assume that this is a list. A list should be stored into the 0th. Should be stored into the 0th. For example, this is a 10, 20, and this is a 30, and this is 40. What are the numbers are there? This entire list should be stored into the 0th index. And again, I have another list, right? Which is a 50, 60, 70, all these are there. So this list should be stored into the first index. Again, I have one more list, right? And this list, entire list should be stored into the second one. So that means in 0th contains a list, 0th index is containing the list, and then first index is also containing the list, and the second index is also containing the list. Each one of them, each index is containing the list. So this is a nested list. What we are talking right now, we are talking about the nested list. This is a single list declaration. This is single list declaration. Single list declaration. Now the next one is nested list. Nested list. Nested list is nothing but there is a list. Within this list, I have another list. For example, I'm storing the integer. Now this means there is a inner list is available and there is a outer list is available. So let's assume that this is a nested list equal to new list of integer. I'm using the two lists here. I'm using the two lists. Nested, right? Only one nested will be there. It can have a multiple. It can have multiple. You can write list inside the list inside the list. That is a 2 level down. Now again, you can write one more list here. And here also one more list. So how much level down I can go? We do not have any specific limit for that, but in the real time, we are going to use only this list inside the list, only nested list we are going to use it. We are not going to use list inside the list inside the list inside the list. If you are writing this one is nothing but you are making your code so complicated. You are making your code so complicated. So most of the times we will not be using the 3 level down or 2 level down of the list. We will just do the 1 level down of the list. So what it is doing basically in one index, it is storing the list. Now let me declare the same thing. Let me go ahead in the developer console. So developer console, debug, open. This is a nested list. So nested list, I have declared it. Now how to add a value? Similarly, the way how you are adding it, if you are adding a value, then you have to use the curly braces, right? You have to use the curly braces. If you are not adding the value, You just use the open and close parentheses. Now, right now, I have a inside one more list is there. That means I need one list. Before this, before storing the here, I need to initialize one list. You can do in multiple ways. First, initialize your list integer. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm implementing the inner part, the inner list, whatever is there, I'm implementing that inner part here. I'm implementing the inner part. So let's say that int list equal to new list of integer. And let's declare here 10, 20, 30. Now, similar way, I'll declare the another list. Integer list one, this is 40, 50, 60. And similarly, I'm declaring the list of integer. This is the second one. This is the 70, 80, 90. Now what I'll do, I'll go ahead and use this nested list dot add, and then I'm going to use int list. Now int list to list one and two. Now let me print the debug log. System.debug. I'll say here nested list. And then I'm going to print nested list. Execute it. So what happened here? It is taken the so if we go here, let's print the value. Now what happened here? Let me go to the paint. Now in the paint, so here it is like 10, 20, 30, right? These three are stored in 0th index. These three are stored in 0th index. Now 40, 50, 60. These three are stored in first index. 70, 80, 90 are stored in second index. In second index, there is a comma between the each list, right? So here it is storing the list in the 0th index, list in the first index, list in the second index. This way is you can store it. There is another way, instead of declaring it list separately, what you can do is during the declaration itself, you can give it. During the declaration itself, you can mention. So how you are going to mention, basically in the curly braces. So you are going to take this new list of 10, 20, 30, new list of 40, 50, 60, and then new list of 70, 80, 90. Okay. Move it down. Okay. So this is what I'm doing it, right? You can directly declare within the curly braces during the initialization, or else you can declare separately the list and then later you can add it. Any questions on this?
Ma'am, can we add the list in the single line? Suppose like int list one, int list comma, int list two, like that.
Yes, you can add. So that's what during the initialization we can mention that.
Okay. My doubt is in this add dot add dot add int list comma in one int list comma two, like that. in a
Yeah.
single line.
So you are saying this int list and then comma int list one. Right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
So how many parameters does add has? The parameter add has only one parameter. So it will not accept the two parameters.
Okay.
Any other questions before I move on?
Ma'am, deep clone is get the updated data.
It doesn't get the updated. Whatever the original data is there, it will keep the original data, but it will copy everything, including the data type, everything.
Okay. Clone will gives the updated data.
Clone is if there is any changes on the existing one, it will take the new one also.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on. Next one, we have a set in collection. Set in collection. A set can hold any type of data. This is the second type of collection, which is a set. Set can hold any type of data, and set represents a collection of unique element with no duplicate values. Set does not allow the duplicate values, and each value has to be unique. Each value has to be unique. And a set is an unordered collection of primitive SObject or a collection itself. So that means set is going to accept either primitive data type or SObject. You can use either of one. In the real time, most of the times we use set for primitive data type. We do not use it for the SObject. So, and then features of this set collection Salesforce. A set collection does not have an index concept, whereas a list has an index concept, right? Set does not have an index concept. Why? I'm going to explain it. So set does not have an index concept, and a set collection that the data type can be primitive. So mostly we use the set collection data type only for the primitive data type. Data inside the set is a case sensitive. Data inside the set is case sensitive. And a set collection does not contain any duplicate or a null value. Now syntax is set data type, and then you have to declare the variable name equal to new set of data type. It is similar to the list. Okay, it is similar to the list. But what is the difference between the list is set is the main difference is set does not hold the duplicate values and set does not have an index. Whereas a list is a specific to the index, list can hold the duplicate values. And set contains the unique value, whereas list does not contain the unique value. And the last one is set does auto sorting. Set does auto sorting, whereas list does not do the auto sorting. List does not do the auto sorting. Now let's go ahead and see one example. Now set declaration is set of, for example, if you take an integer, let's say int set equal to new set of integer. New set of integer. So similar to the how we declared it for the list, similar way it has a set declaration is also. It has a set declaration. Now, if I wanted to add the values, the methods are whatever the list has a method. Similarly, set is also has the method. In set dot add, I'll add 1. add 10, 20. And if I print the value, system.debug, int set. Let me execute this, execute the highlighted one. Right, it is storing the curly braces 1, 10, 20. But if you observe this, the result, list is storing it, open parenthesis, this close one, but set is storing in the curly braces. Set is storing in the curly braces. See the differences. The output of the list is this way, and the output of set is in the curly braces. Right? And okay, so let me do one thing. So we have declared a names, right? So we have declared this name. So I'm going to use the same. But instead of list this time, what I'll do is I'll take a set. So I'll print both list and set. So instead of list, what I'm going to do is I'll take a set, and here also set. Now, let's see the differences that list is giving and how the set is giving. Let's execute it. Now see here, this is the list one. The first one is a list one. So let me change here. List output, set output. Now, if you see the list output, as the way we have given, similar way it is printed the value. But whereas set is doing the auto sorting. The set is doing the auto sorting. First, it has taken the null value. Whatever the null value is there, it has taken the null value. Then it started with the alphabet A. So here I'm declaring during the declaration of set, 0th index is a Bharati and first index is Akash and then third index is null. But during the execution, the index values are getting changed. That's the reason set does not hold the index. Set does not hold the index declaration because it does the auto sorting. So whenever we are executing it, it will change the values from the first to second, second to fourth, and whatever the last to first, it will change, all the sorting will be done. So storing in the index, it does not make sense for the set. So that's the reason we do not have an index specific for the set. So that's the reason the way we have given here Bharati, Akash, and then space, then Bhagyashree is there, right? But set is first taking the null, Akash, Ashrita, Bhagyashree, and Bharati. Now all other methods are same. All other methods are same. Everything you can use it. Like a add all, clear, clone, contains. But it will not have a get keyword. It will not have a get. Okay, any other questions before I move on? Okay, so all the methods are same for the set. So I'll not be going in detail for the set because list and set both are same. But only remember the interview question is what is the differences between the set and list? What is the differences between the set and list?
List have
Duplicates
index
are
List
number.
allowed.
have say indexes
Set
implemented.
don't
Set
have
has no
index
index
number.
elements.
Duplicates are allowed in list. Set duplicates are not allowed.
Right.
Not allowed. Duplicates and nulls.
Auto sorting.
Auto sorting is not
sorting
available
is
in
Sorting
list.
is not in the list. Set
Auto
has to be
sorting
auto
is in set.
right?
Output is in curly braces in set.
Right.
list.
Then set is a case insensitive, but because if I give here, comma, if I change the name of Akash here, so I'll give the same name. If I give a same name, it doesn't hold the duplicate, but if I change the capital small letters, now I'll change capital A to small. Right, so let me see the output. Right, so what are the capital exactly matching the value, it will remove it. But if it is a small letter or a capital letter, then it will not remove. So it's a case sensitive. So let's move on. The methods are same, similar to the list. And next one is a map. Map in collection. Map is little bit different compared to list and set. Yes.
So now there's a remove method in set. Can we, is it
Sorry?
possible to remove? There's a remove method in set.
Remove, yes, we have it. Remove
But
set.
but set doesn't have an index, right? Then how do we remove it?
Yes, so for remove function, we will see later. Okay, so for that, we need to know little more. Debug. So if you wanted to remove it, right now we do not have an index here. How it is going to work if you do not have an index? So list dot, I'm removing the Akash. Remove Akash. So what I'm going to do is I'll be printing this value. System.debug. So let me execute. Does it work or not? So it removed it. What is the output? Did it give the output? Did I print the output? Set output. It removed the capital Akash. So wherever the index is there in list, here use the element.
Okay.
So map is a little bit different compared to any other. Okay, before moving on, any other questions in the list and set? Definitely one question will come from the interview.
Swapna, do we use nested in set also?
Set, no, not really. But you can use a set inside the list. Now list of set of integer. This is closing here, this is closing here. Okay. So this is set to integer, set to list equal to new list of set of integer. Now execute this. The container is gets created. Now you can store the set inside the list. Okay, any other questions?
In set and list, we can add, delete and all. We can modify also. Is there any keyword like modify?
Modify means exactly? You wanted to change the
Means,
value of the second one.
change the, yes, exactly. Wrong.
Okay, so in that case, we do not have a direct keyword to update. You need to little bit tweak into that.
Okay.
Ma'am, can we use SObjects in the set?
Yes, we can use it, but I would suggest don't use the SObject in the set. In real time, we do not use it.
Okay.
In real time set, we use it to store the IDs, like a account ID or a contact ID, or IDs to store the IDs, or some string name to store the account name. So only that purpose we use a set.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? And you can move the set of integer to the list. So for example, you have a set of these values. Okay, you wanted to push into the list. You can do that. So name list dot name list equal to name list dot add all. So I wanted to push all this set of the values. Now let's print this. Execute. Now I'm moving the set values to the list. You can move set values to the list. It is possible. Any other questions? In reverse direction is also possible from the name list to name list one. The other way, if you wanted to move, you can move it. So add all is basically to add everything that's the collection contains. Okay. So, okay, moving back to the map. Map is very frequently, this is very important in the real time. And map is little bit different from list and set. So map is a key value pair. Map is a key value pair that contains the each value's unique key. So key has to be unique. Value can be duplicate, that's okay, no problem, but key has to be unique. Key has to be unique. And the features of the map is a data type can be used for both the key and the value in a map collection. Map. And the second one is the keys of a type string are case sensitive because the key is unique and it is a case sensitive. If it is a capital small also similar like a set, it will accept. If you change the small letters to capital, capital to small, it will accept it. It has to be always unique. And you have to use the map keyword followed by the key and a value. So that has to be enclosed within the less than and greater than to declare the map collection. So syntax is map. Inside that we have a data type key. So you have to mention a key value here. So data type is, you can use the primitive data type, and you can use SObject data type. You can use a set collection. You can use set collection in the key. You cannot use the list collection in the key. But data type value, you can use the primitive data type. You can use the SObject. You can use the set collection. You can use the list collection. Right? So map key less than key comma value, and the variable name equal to new map of key comma value, open close parenthesis. So here the map, what are the map is there? This is the reserve keyword. You cannot change the value of map. And then you have a key. Key can be any data type of primitive data type, and it could be a SObject, it could be a set. And value could be any primitive data type, SObject, and any collection. It could be a set collection, it could be a list collection. You can use anything here. And then we have this is the variable name. You can use any variable name here. New is the reserve keyword. New is the reserve keyword. Now, in the database, how it is going to store? So you have a key, and key equal to value. So what will happen in the database is, your database is key equal to value. That means what? So if your key is a country, so assume that key is a country, values are the dollar one. So country, whatever the money is there, the currency, assume that currency, country and currency. So I'm storing here in the key, I'm storing the country, and in the value, I'm storing the currency. So how it is going to be? Key US equal to dollar. Key India equal to value rupees. Key UK equal to value pound. Right? So this is the how we are going to store. Right now here we have only one value. US equal to dollar, India equal to rupee, right? So this is the one value. This is ideally the key will be unique, and the value is, you can have a duplicate values also, no problem, but key has to be unique. So this is the whole format, that how the data will be stored in the database.com for map collection. For map collection. Now, map collection, what are the key we are talking about? The first one, key can be any primitive data type or a SObject. And key can be a set, but not list. System will not accept the list, because if I start using the list in the key, what will happen? The list feature is, it will accept the duplicate values. But whereas the map key is, the feature is key cannot accept the duplicate values. Though the feature does not work, list feature does not work with the key feature. So we cannot use list in the key, but we can use the set. Example. So map string comma string, both are primitive data type. String map equal to new map of string comma string, or else map integer comma string into string map equal to new map integer comma string. Map, you can use other way also, map of string comma integer also you can use it. Map ID comma account. ID is a primitive data type and account is a SObject. The combination also will work. ID to account map equal to new map ID comma account. And then you can use map of account SObject. And then in the value, you have a list of contact. In value, you can use the list. You can use the list, you can use the set. And the other one, map of string comma set of account. So these are the different ways of declaration. Basically, the declaration is same. You are using a here map and you are giving a variable name and you are using a new map. But what it is changing the data type every line. Here the data type is string comma string. Here the data type is integer comma string. Here the data type is ID comma account. Here the data type is account comma list collection. And here the data type is string comma set collection. So only the data type I'm changing in the every line, but the declaration, but initialization is a common. Initialization is I'm using the map less than whatever the key value is there greater than, and then you have to give a variable name equal to new map integer comma string. Is this clear? Map, the declaration part. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's see the example. I'm going to use the map. So what I'll do is I'll declare a map. So for the declaration, we have to use map. I'm going to use string comma string. Then I'll take a currency, the example which we have seen. I'll take C map equal to new map of string comma string. Open close. Now if I execute it, what will happen in the database? It will create like a table, and one will be a key and this will be a value. It will create this space in the database.com. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add country and currency. So let me go here. So C map. Now till this point for the list and set, in order to add, we have used the method called add method. We have used the method called add method. But for map, we need to use a method. There is a method called put method. There is a method called put method. Okay, there is a put method is there. So put method has key and value. Put key and value. So you can use cmap dot put. Key is whatever the country is there. So I'll add US and then value equal to $. Value equal to $. I'm going to print this value. System.debug. Let's say map output. Then I'm going to use cmap. Let's execute. How it is happening? US equal to $. Key equal to value. Key equal to value. So the first one is for the list. The first one is for the list and the second one is for set output. And then we have, this is a map output. So map output is always key equal to value. It's always key equal to value. For example, if I give another value, if I add another value, what will happen? So let's go and see and execute. Now I'm going to add one more. cmap.put India, rupees. Now let me execute this. So observe this. First one I have given the US dollar, but which one it has taken? It has taken the India equal to rupee. That means this whatever the key is there, right? This key will be auto sorted.
Set.
Key automatically sort the value. It will sort and equal to whatever the value is there, it will take along with that. Now let's assume that if I give one more here, but I'll give the same India equal to, I'll say rupees, and let me execute it. Execute the highlighted one. What happened? It has taken the whatever the latest one is there, whatever the latest one is there, it has taken that India equal to rupees. If I add a one more, whatever the latest one is there, only one it will take. But for example, if I say here, instead of capital I, if I say small I, what will happen if I say small I?
Error showing.
It will take all three.
It will take all three because key is a case sensitive. So whatever the capital is there, the capital will come because the sorting will be, first it will take the capital. Once all the sorting of the capital is done, then it will start executing the small letters. So it will take all three of them. Similarly, if I give here integer and then string, what will happen? For example, let's take map of integer, comma, string. Let's say into string equal to map of integer, comma, string.
You have used it.
Any questions? Okay. Now, right now, what I'll do is instead of adding this, instead of adding like this, put, during the initialization only, I'll add the values. If I wanted to add the values, use the curly braces. Use the curly brace. Now, how to add the value? Now we know how to add the value. Like we used to add like a, if it is an integer, then let's assume that 1. And then we used to add a string value. Let's take a Sachin. Right? Like this, we used to add it for the list and set. But in the map, how the data is storing it, key equal to value. Key equal to value. The data is storing in terms of key equal to value. So the declaration is also has to happen similar way of how it is storing it. That means I need to, instead of comma, I need to give it this. This means equal to. Equal to greater than is nothing but in Salesforce term, it means equal to. That means I'm declaring the key equal to value. Now, if I give 2 equal to, and then I'll say Rahul, right? So I'm just giving the value. Let's see what is the output that I'm going to get it. Into string. Let's execute. 114, some line is missing.
You. Equal to.
New is missing. New keyword is missing. Execute. Now 1 equal to Sachin, 2 equal to Rahul. So for the declaration of 2 equal to 1 equal to, how we do it in Salesforce, if you wanted to initialize if you wanted to declare the values during the initialization, use equal to greater than. So key equal to greater than value. Key equal to greater than value. Now, map of, you can take set of integer. Key is a set of integer and value is list of string. Value is list of string. I'm taking SL map equal to new. And then I'm going to use this. So this is possible because key, I wanted to hold the value. So far what we have done, we have stored the single value here. This is a single value, which is 1 value equal to Sachin. I have stored the single value. But right now, what I need is key has to be a set. Key has to be some collection of data. And value also has to be some collection of data. So I'm storing the key as a collection of data. Value is also collection of data. For that, I have declared map set of integer, comma, list of string. You can take list of integer, list of string, or a list of account. You can take list of account also. Let's go ahead and execute this. The container will be created in the database and the key will be set collection and the value will be list collection. Okay, it's taking longer time. Debug, execute, highlighted. Okay, so the container gets created. For example, now I wanted to add set and list. How to add a set and list? You can do multiple ways. Either you can do direct initialization here, but if you feel that is a complicated, what you do is set of integer, declare it separately. Set of integer, and let's say that int sets equal to new set of integer. And I'll say here 1, 2, 3. I'm just giving some numbers here. And then I'll declare a list of string, str list equal to new list of string. I'll take some names here, Sachin and Rahul, Messi. So let me execute it. First, let's see what is the output of the set of integer and what is the output of list of integer. Okay, this is the set output. And this is list output. And for set output, I'm giving the int sets. For list output, I'm giving the str list. Let me execute this. Okay, set is 1, 2, 3. Perfect, it came perfect. Now I wanted to add into the map. So dot put. Can I take directly int sets? Can I take directly int sets? Because right now what is happening? I have declared set and list. So now I'll take int sets, comma, str list. What will happen if I take this? Will it take or not? Now let me print the output also. Map output, SN map. Okay, I don't need that. Okay, from 117, I'm executing till 126. Till 126, I'm executing it. So key is a list and value is also list. Both are list. Both are list. What is happening during the execution of map? And what are the values that I give? For example, here, what are the values which I gave? US, India, India, rupees, right? If I give a capital I, it is taking this key and the value is it is taking this one, right? Key, if I give here capital I, the key is taking here and the value is taking this. It is not taking the value of this. Now, what is happening during the execution of map? So during the execution of map, certain rules it gets executed. The first one is map automatically removes the duplicates. Removes duplicate keys. It removes the duplicate keys. But value, which value it will take? Whatever the latest value is there, it will take that latest value. And the second one, it arranges the data in ascending order. Arranges the data in ascending order. Ascending order. And the third one, when we put the values, right? When we say that executed. So that time what will happen? These two, whatever the first two are is there, it will automatically executed whenever during the compilation of the map, these two will be executed. And the last one is, this is while this one, once the compilation is done perfectly, during the runtime, it will execute the, whatever the result is there, that execution will happen. So these are the three conditions which will execute during the map. Whenever we execute this map, this is what happened. For example, if I'm executing this, first it removes the duplicate key. It removes the duplicate key. But which value it will take? It will take the latest value. And then second thing is that it will arrange us in the order. First it should come I, then capital I, then it should come capital U. And if there are any small letters after the capital letter, it should start the small letters. Any questions? You can also take list of account, right? So right now, whatever we have added the account here, right? We have added this list of account. All the accounts we have added here, right? Now I can take map of ID comma or map of integer comma list of account. Map of integer comma list of account. So let's take this. We added here everything into the list. And the next one, which I'll take is map of integer, comma, list of account. I'll say that ACC list equal to new map of integer, comma, list of account. Now, how will I add it? If I wanted to add, how will I add it? The list of account, whatever is there in this, I wanted to add. Which
The
method
put-
do I?
Put method. You can use
Put
that.
1 comma, then I'll add what is the list of accounts. I execute this, this will be stored in 1 is the keyword, and what are the list of accounts are there, those will be in values. For example, if you wanted to get only the key values, Now in the database, for example, this is the list. And in this list, I have a both key and value. I have both key and value. So assume that key is India, rupee, and US dollar, US dollar, and then Dubai dirhams, right? Dirhams will be there. Okay, for example, this is right now here, key and value. This is the whatever the country is there, this is the key, and whatever the currency is there, this is the value. Now let's suppose this is how I stored it. But what I need is, I need only the keys. I'm not interested about the values. I need only these key values. If I wanted to get only the key values, or I wanted to get only the values, I do not want the keys. I just wanted to know what are the values are there. Now, if I wanted to know only the keys, then we have a method called key set. We have a method called key set. Key set is returns the set that contains the all of the keys in the map. Values are returns a list that contains all the values in the map. So whatever the values are there, it will return. Size is basically it returns the number of key value pair in the map. How many pair are there? How many pair are there? For example, let's take the, okay, we have added the map. Okay, here it is. Sachin, Rahul is there, right? Now I wanted to get only the keys, only the key of what are the keys are there here. I just wanted to get the keys. So what I can do is int string dot, I can use key set. I can use key set. So what will happen? It will give me only the, what are the keys are there? It will give only that particular keys. 1, 2. If I want a values, I instead of a key set, I can use a values. Instead of key set, I can use values. If I use a values, it will print only the values. Let's assume that I just wanted to know the size of that. How many key value pair is there? So simply use the size so that it will give size of the map. So right now we have a 2 pairs, so it will give the output 2. And the next one is key set is to get all the keys, but I'm just interested only for this particular key, what is the value? I'm just interested on that. In that case, what you can do is you can use the get key. You can use get key. What will happen? It returns the value to which the specified key is mapped. For example, I wanted to get the get key is here too. So I'll use the 2. Execute the highlighted one. It will just give me the Rahul. So in the real time, this we use it a lot, get key, put. In the real time, we use get, put, and then key set, values. Whatever these first 4 are there. Key set, value, size, put, get, these frequently we will use it in the real time. This is mostly used in the real time. Clear, we do not use it in the real time. This is basically to clear all the key value pair. Now, in case if you wanted to remove any specific key value pair, then we can use remove, but we have to pass it here, the key. If you pass the key, then it will be removed. Now, any questions on the map?
Yeah, Swapna, can you give me a real-time scenario where we use map, set, integer, and list string? Because I'm not able to comprehend it. What is the usage of this one? If it is single key, I understand we use it. But for why the array of keys? In which scenario?
Okay, so right now we have seen the scenario, set of integer, list of string, right? Now let's assume that what I'm going to do is map of, I'll take a primitive data type, which is a ID, comma, list of contact. Now what will happen if I use a list of contact and ID? What is the use of this?
పడిద్ది ఆ బండి ముందు నడిచి కిందకు వచ్చి పడిద్ది.
For each ID, the contact will be listed.
Based on IDs, contact returns the contact.
Right. So in the real time, we have a relationship between the each object. We have a relationship between the each objects. One account can contain multiple contacts. One account can contain multiple contacts. One account can contain multiple opportunity, multiple cases. Now let's assume that there is a scenario that says that I wanted to know how many contacts are there for particular account. This account is a business account. Now for this particular account, how many contacts are there? We wanted to know that scenario because if there are no contacts for this particular account, we have to create a new contact. Now, how will I know account? I need to store it into the specific, which is I just need a ID. I just need a ID of the account. I do not need entire information of the account. I just need only the ID is required. For that particular ID, what I'm interested, I'm just interested for that particular ID. What are the list of contacts? How many list of contacts are there? Right? So in the real time, we use it for single account. How many list of contacts are there? Once I pull the data, what I'll do next I'm going to check whether this map, whatever the map size is there, is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, then perfectly fine. But if it is a less than 0, that means there is a contact is not there. Contact is not there. So in that case, I have to create a contact. So what we will do, we will create a contact because that is necessary. Every account should have a contact. That is a business scenario. So they have told that if there is any account is created in the system by the users or by the Salesforce admin teams, when I say Salesforce admin team, the client admin team, whenever they create an account, there should be a logic that runs at the back end. Check if there is any accounts or contacts are there. If it is not, then go ahead and create a contact. Now, another scenario is, for example, let's assume that I need a information of account, contact, opportunity, case. But I do not need all the information from the account. I just need an ID. And then from contact, I just need a name. From the opportunity, I just need a status. And from the case, I need description. Right? I need description. Now, what we are going to do is ID equal to, I'm going to store the multiple information. That means this is map of ID, comma, list of string. list of string. Why we need this? There is a scenario that I need to get the contact information, opportunity information, case information, because we need to do certain logic on based on this. But I do not need all the information of contact. There are 30 fields are there, 40 fields in the opportunity, 50 fields in the case, but I'm not interested all those. I just need a one field information. So basically I have collected all of them and I have stored into the list. And now I'm going to store it into the map. Why I'm storing into the map? Because further logic, what I can do is based on the account ID, I can check what is the opportunity status. If the opportunity status is closed, then I'm going to update the case information and contact information. And key, is it always has to be ID primitive data? Cannot I use the SObject? You can use the SObject. Now, in case if you need that instead of ID, I need a complete account information. Store the complete account information, but you cannot. You can store, in case if you want a list of account, you can store it, set of account. But if you want a single account, how many contacts are there? So store complete account details here and then list of contact. List of contact. And there are also map, nested map. We have a nested map. That means map within the map. This is a complicated one. Map within the map. Why do I use a map within the map? Very rare scenarios where we get it. So if you have to get multiple information from the multiple object, then first you need to build a map, and then from that you need to get a certain value of that. So map of map, then you will use account or a set of ID, comma, list of, you can use list, a list of string. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is another one. This is closing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So this is the one. So basically nested list, I'm using it here. And also I'm using the map within the map. This is a very rare scenarios we use it. And this kind of a code, we write it in case if I am talking to multiple object, right? I'm getting the information from the multiple object. And I wanted to store this entire data into single map, because this map will be passed to the third-party system. Or if I'm building a package, right? In that package, I'm passing certain information to the other system. In that case, we use this.
Ma'am, why are we using nested list here?
Nested list, in case if you wanted to store the list of information within again the list. Yes, somebody is answering. Go ahead. So you already have a list, right? So for example, you already have a list here. So list has an index position. This is the 0th index and this is the first index and this is the second one. Now inside this list, again, you wanted to store complete list. Now 0th index, what you can store here, one value you can store, maybe 4 or some value you are storing here. Srinivas, you are storing it. But 0th index also, I wanted to store complete list. Instead of a single value, I want a list of names in the 0th index. In the first index also, I need another list of index, a list of the data.
Okay, got it.
Swapna.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Archana.
Yeah, I'm still not able to understand. Like this, I got, this map ID of list string is fine. because the first index is unique. What is that? Just single item, right? But
Mm.
I'm asking where in real time, where do we use map set of integer, comma, list of account, something like that, or map set of account, comma, list of contact. Where do we use that? The first key is array, right? So in that I'm saying, how do we access that? What is the
You are saying
usability of
set of
that?
ID and list of string.
Yeah, something like you map set of ID, comma, a list of contact.
Set of
So
ID is very rare scenarios. Okay.
no, not even set of ID, even if it is suppose set of integer or set of string. So I'm asking first is if it is array, then in which case do we use that scenario?
Okay. If you have a multiple accounts, assume that multiple accounts name is say Archana.
Okay.
Okay. For all those Archana name. Okay. So set of, you are taking a set of string. Set of string. And in that set of string, you are storing the account name.
Right.
So why we need the account name? Because wherever the account name is Archana, I wanted to know for those Archana, how many contacts are there? It's actually duplicate account. It's actually duplicate because with the account name Archana, there are 10 records are there, 10 accounts are there. And for each account, you have a 2 contacts. Now I wanted to combine all the accounts and I wanted to get the total contact. How will you do that?
No, so Sapna, see, okay, I'm still not able to understand. I have just sent you one program, okay. So I just want to know what is the use of this num1 key and num2 key, and how do I access this? Can you check that program?
Okay. Do you understand this code?
Yeah, this code I understood. This is fine. I just want to know what is the usage of array of key one, array of keys, not
What is
values.
the question
Value
on
I
this?
understand.
What is
Sorry?
the question on this? What is the question on this?
Yeah, question is, now see, when I execute this code, okay, just a second. When I execute this code, I get, just a minute. Just 1 second, okay.
If you execute this code, what you will get is 165 equal to
yeah. Yes.
BB. Why we are doing this? Because to understand for the practice purpose, we are doing it. Okay, but this is not used in the real time.
That's what,
Why
that
we
is
are
what my
doing
question.
is for the practice purpose. Like if I wanted to store multiple values in the set, how can I store it? And if I wanted to put that set of data into the map, how can I store it? And what is the output will I get it? So this is for our understanding. So, but these things will not be used in the real time. In the real time, you will not be having the set of numbers. No, it won't be there.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, that was my question.
Okay.
Okay, and if I have to access now, then I have to say map dot get 156. Then only I will get the value of it, right?
Right.
Okay. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So differences between the list, set, map. List is a collection of elements, ordered element, and set is a collection of unique element, unordered elements, and map is a collection of key value pair. List allows the duplicate values. Set does not allow the duplicate value. It allows only the unique values. Map allows the duplicate values, but each key must be unique. So key cannot be duplicate. Value can be a duplicate. List contains primitive data type SObject, Apex object. What is the Apex object? We have not discussed that. basically we are going to create some objects within the Apex. So we can use list for those Apex objects also. Set contains the primitive data type or SObject. Map key can be any primitive data type, string, integer, date, whereas value can include the primitive Apex object, SObject, or any other collection. Okay. So yeah, the conclusion.
Ma'am, like what is that ordered elements and unordered elements?
Set
Can you
is an
just-
ordered, right, Swapna?
Sorry.
Set is an ordered elements, right?
Set is actually the definition is a reverse. So set is automatically doing the order, right? But the definition is a reverse.
Like basically the output which we are getting from list and set, like those things won't be in order. You are saying that, right?
So
Ordered.
here ordered element is nothing but the way I mentioned in the list, the same order it will print in the output.
Okay.
As said, when what are the order I mentioned, it will do the unordering of that.
Okay. Thanks, Swapna.
Any other questions? Okay, so far what did we learn?
Collection data type.
Collection
List.
data types,
In that
list
listing
methods,
setting collection,
set and collection set methods,
mapping collection.
map
Map in collections, map methods.
And then differences
Difference
between the
between
list.
list and set.
What is a collection in Salesforce?
the collection of elements.
It is a
Collection of list of data.
Collection of ordered elements.
it returns the list of data types. Different.
Used to store multiple data with
Multiple.
data type. What are the types of collection in Salesforce?
List,
List,
set,
set,
map.
map.
List, set, map. What is the list type of collection?
The collection
Dub-
of primitive
List is a ordered collection of
ordered collection of elements.
data type.
Collection of elements with duplicate.
Store a same data type values.
Right, it allows the duplicate values. What is the difference between the list and set?
List duplicates are
Ordered and
allowed.
unordered duplicate values allowed and
Set
not allowed.
duplicates are not allowed.
List has index and set doesn't.
Right. So the main is duplicate values, and then index numbers is required in list and set does not require. What is the scope of list versus set versus map in the real-time project? When do you use the list? When do you use the set? When do you use the map in the real time? How do you know that which one do I need to use it? If
For
you
primitive data types, we use set.
We have to primitive data types as object.
Depends on that you want duplicate values or not, or order to be stored.
For duplicate values, set list have to be used.
List
fit
is
the
for
ID.
primitive and non-primitive, ma'am, and set for just for avoid duplications, and map a key value pairs.
right, but how do you decide it in the real time? Which one do you have to go, set or list or map? How you will differentiate based on the requirement? First, what you will verify?
We'll verify whether those elements are unique elements or not.
So first thing we are going to verify is, does the requirement has a key value concept or not? Whether we are interested in key value. If we are interested in key value, simply we will go with the map. But assume that there is no concept called key value. In case out of these three, one is eliminated. So that means I do not need a map. I do not need map. And the second one, which I'm going to go for, is to use list or set. This is based on the how well decided the conditions which we have a duplicate, and if we want a duplicate, then we will use the list. If it is not duplicate, then set. The first criteria we need to identify between these two is first eliminating this. If you eliminate this, then you are clear about this. Okay. So auto sort is available in which type of collection?
Set.
Set collection.
Set and
Map.
Map.
Also.
map. Homework, write a Apex code, add following name, and these are the names you need to add it, and should allow the duplicate values. This is the requirement. Add the following names in the collection, and it should add the duplicate values. Once you add it, sort the order and get the length of it, get the fifth index value. Write a Apex code to add a following names in the collection, should not allow the duplicate values. Sort order, get length, remove 1, 2, 3 from the collection. While adding it, 1, 2, 3, 4 should be there, but after that you need to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 from this particular collection. Third one, write a Apex code to add a following name in a collection. iPhone X equal to 70,000, Nokia equal to 60,000, Samsung equal to 50,000, Motorola is equal to 40,000. Get the value by passing the key. So assume that I wanted to pass the key of Samsung. So if I pass the key Samsung, then I wanted to get the value. Or else get, the second one is get all the values. Whatever the values are there, get all the values. Implement Apex code to store all values of homework 1 and homework 2 to the new list. So what are the values are there in homework 1 and what are the values are there in homework 2, and add it into the new list collection. And the fourth one is implement Apex code to store the following data. So 0th index, I should have a data of Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad. First index, it should be Chicago, New York, San Diego, Dallas. Second index, it is a Ely, Derby, Bristol, Derby. And then third one is also similar one. And the fourth one is Berlin, Hamburg, Munchen, and Bonn. So these are the values will be there. Second index and third index has the same values. Any questions? So these are the trial heads. So this is basically a map. So set, what is this? Okay, sets and map. So set, what they are doing is they are creating the T types and adding these values and then debugging it. And this is the run the code. You have to execute it. Either you can execute this code, write the code directly in the Apex class, or you can execute the same. That is the set method. And then they have written the map dot put key key comma value. So key is a T types, value is a flavor, and they have added the map which is created here. They have initialized T type and adding the put black key value and key and values they have added, right? So there are some options will be there, questions, so just answer that. So this is the one. And the next one is okay. Next one is using collection. So just do this one using collection. So using collection is basically what are the multiple items you are placing into the collection. So they have a list. So tea, sugar, honey, milk, they have created the one grocery. They have initialized the grocery list and they declared it here. Initially it is empty container. Then they have declared here 4. So that's the reason it is created the by default 4 indexes with the null values. If you give a 0, it starts from the 0. And then they have initialized this T, right? Either you can directly initialize it, directly, you can give the value during the initialization, or else you can add the value. So here also they are, during the initialization, they are adding the value, debug. And instead of doing the initialization, giving the value during the initialization, what they are doing is they are using the add method. So what will happen, based on how we are giving the order wise, the same order, it will store the value in the grocery container. So if you try to add 2 index and milk, what will happen between these two, it will be added the milk. And then some multiplication quiz will be there. And the next one is, this is basic Apex coding skills. If you are able to do, if you are able to understand, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, that's okay, you can wait. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we are done for the session today.